These are the Nika poster colors. I've heard about these obviously through John Stevens, and I've always wanted to try them. Now I have a very special way that I mix up things like this, which was taught to me by Frederick Marns, God rest his soul, an absolutely amazing calligrapher. So what he taught me was to take some water and drip it into the top layer and just sort of jiggle it around. So I'm going to switch to the green because I've already done it with this emerald green, which is a really beautiful color. And once the liquid is at the top, you then take a brush and you run it around the rim of the jar, and you're just activating the liquid on the top. That way you're not mixing the whole jar up. You're only really activating the top layer. And then when it comes to writing with it, you're just going to dip at that top layer and pick that up. And I'm going to pick that color up there, and I'm going to wipe it on the underside of the nib until I fill the reservoir. So the reservoir is that little hole. It's also called the vent hole, and I'm just brushing the top. So let's see how this works. Get that edge there. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to test the fineness of line. So let's add a little bit more. Okay, might need a little bit of water. So I'm just mixing that water up just to give it a little bit more fluidity. There we go. So you really have to take your time with it. So remember, this is a suspension, it's not a solution. And with a solution, you'll find that the lines are generally much quicker to write. But with a suspension, you really sort of have to take your time in making those lines. Because, you know, obviously, if I was doing this with a fountain pen ink, I would just do this. And it would really take the whole line, but because it's a suspension, you really have to take your time to make the entire line. It's a really lovely ink. Let's look back at the writing, and you can see that really shows up. The hairlines show up. It's a really good contrast. It's a really solid, dense pigment. It's really good, really, really lovely.